Welcome to Science Lesson 61. We are going to uh, talk about space science today, but before we do, we're going to do some review of our planets. So remember the phrase, my very excited mother just served us nachos to help you remember this planet. The way we're going to learn or review our planets is I'm going to describe three planets. I want you to write down the planets that I describe. And then on Google Classroom, I want you to respond in the order that I've described the planet. So listen carefully for the description of your first planet. This first planet is the largest planet in our solar system. What planet is it? Okay, this second planet is has a ring on it and it's tilted on its side. What planet is it? This third planet is completely blue. What planet is it? Hopefully you've written down your answers so that you're ready to respond once you finish this video on Google Classroom. Okay, now I want you to open up your science books to page 155, and I want you to take a moment and read your terms to remember words and definitions in your terms to remember box. Once you've done that, then we will start in our lesson. So pause your video and read your terms to remember words and definitions. Hopefully you had a chance to read those terms to remember words and definitions. Now let's get into our lesson. Today we're going to be talking about space science. Now, it is so amazing that God has allowed us to have the knowledge to be able to travel to space and research what's happening on our Earth from an outside looking in perspective. Now, when we travel or when our astronauts travel to space, they travel in a space station. If they didn't have the space station, they would not be able to survive in space. So God has allowed us the ability to create a space station that goes all the way into space and is able to maintain for a certain period of time so that we can look at Earth and the other planets. The space station is orbiting Earth. Remember, orbit is the continual path around one heavenly body. Now, with that space station being able to go out into outer space, we have also been able to learn a way that we, as human beings, which is our astronauts, are able to exit the space station in space and travel and look at different things happening in space. Now, when they do travel outside of the space station, they have to have a tether, which you read in your terms to remember. If they don't have a tether, then they won't be able to come back and they'll just float away into space. And there's only a certain amount of time that they would be able to survive if they were to float in space forever. Space was not created for us to live in. God created Earth specifically for us to live. He's allowed us the knowledge to be able to build equipment to allow us to be able to go out into outer space, but only for a certain amount of time. Now, with that, since we are able to go out into outer space with our tether attached, or our astronauts are able to go out with a tether, we are able to look at and sometimes land on planets in order to research them further. But there are some planets that we are not able to land on and research. So for those planets, we send what we call space probes out to take pictures and to evaluate what's happening on the planet. That could be atmosphere, air, whatever the case is, which is how we now are able to learn about our solar system and the heavenly bodies, each individual heavenly body within our solar system.